Today, I'll be teaching you a very wonderful sonnet by William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare is noted for writing dramas, but then you will be surprised that he has written 154 sonnets. Now, before I begin this sonnet, shall I compare thee? Let me explain you what a sonnet is. Students, a sonnet is a poem of 14 lines. It is divided into two parts, octave and sestet. The octave is of 8 lines, whereas the sestet is of 6 lines. In octave, a doubt, a confusion or a problem is being spoken about, whereas in sestet, the answer and the solution is arrived at. Shakespeare has written the sonnet, which is generally known as Shakespearean sonnet, is little deviated from this pattern of sonnet. He writes quatrain, quatrain, quatrain and a couplet. Now what is a quatrain? Quatrain is a stanza of 4 lines. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 makes it 12, and last line is a couplet wherein he gives the conclusion of entire sonnet. Shall I compare thee? Is a very beautiful sonnet, and if we go for the background of Shall I compare thee, Shakespeare writes this for his one of the very best friend, Mr. W.H. But once we read this sonnet, it appeals to us as if he has written this sonnet, this marvelous sonnet, for his beloved. Shall I compare thee? In this entire sonnet, Shakespeare tries to come into a conclusion as to what he should compare his beloved with. As the first line of the sonnet goes, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Question mark. The poet is wondering and imagining that should he compare his beloved with a summer day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. The second line gives the answer of the first question. No, he cannot compare the beloved with the summer day because summer is very hot, while beautiful adjectives which he uses, lovely and temperate. The beloved is very lovely and she is very temperate. So, she cannot be compared with a summer day. Rough fields do shake the darling buds of May. Moreover, summer is characterized not only by the harsh sun but also by rough winds. And what do these rough winds do? They just destroy the beautiful flowers. But the nature of beloved is not like that. She is very temperate, very mild, very modest. So she cannot be compared to the summer day. So two reasons why the beloved cannot be compared to the summer day is, first, she is very temperate. Second, she is very soft. As summer leaves have too short a date. Summer is only for 2 or 3 months. It is not a permanent season. It is not an eternal season. It has only short space, followed by spring, followed by autumn and then winter. But the beauty of beloved, it is permanent. You cannot say that she has a very short-lived beauty. So this is another reason why the lover poet cannot compare his beloved with the summer day. Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines. Girls, before I explain this, let me tell you that the poet uses a metaphor here. Now what's a metaphor? Metaphor is when we compare two objects without the help of as in like. When it is as in like, we call it a simile. Here he says, eyes of heaven. Do we see God, girls? No, we do not see God. But we can imagine that God is looking at us with two beautiful eyes. One is sun, another one is moon. So, eye of heaven is a metaphor used for sun. Moreover, during summer, there is this eye of heaven, the sun which shines so bright that we hardly look at it. We are unable to match eye and eye with sun. And often his golden complexion is dim. Girls, here we are talking as if the sun has life. We are talking as if the sun is a person. If any abstract concept or item are being treated as human, then we call it a personification. Treating abstract and geographical icons as human personifications. So here, what is the poet saying? His golden complexion. So, the golden complexion of sun, that means we are treating sun as a person who has beautiful golden color. Is dimmed. Is sun always bright? No. Sometimes it is very bright. And what about evening, girls? In evening it is very light. And what about the cloudy season, the season of rain? We hardly see the sun, right? So that means the sun is not permanent throughout. It is so beautiful, no doubt. Even the beloved is very beautiful. But the beauty of beloved is constant, while the golden complexion of sun is not constant. Every fair from fair sometimes decline. The sun is so fair, but the fairness of the sun is stolen because of time. Here there is one more lovely natural rhymic literary form which is being used. Fair from fair. Dear students, if such words are used in the continuous manner, they are known as alliteration. So here the poet uses alliteration. You might wonder, why is the poet using alliteration here? The poet is using alliteration here for the musical effect. Fair from fair. It looks so musical, right? From sometimes decline by chance or nature's changing course. The sun becomes little bright, maybe because of many reasons. Sometimes it is by chance. It is brightened up in the noon and the clouds come. And sometimes nature. Today it is summer, tomorrow it might be the rainy season. So because of chance and because of the nature's changing pattern, the beauty of sun is trimmed, declined. So here in these lines, the poet is wondering that whether should he compare his beloved with the sun, with the summer season? Now, all these lines, if you read one by one, are coming to the one conclusion, and that is no. Since beauty of beloved is so continuous, we cannot compare it with the sun. That is the octave part. And as I said, let's move forward and see what the poet brings into the conclusion that with which he should compare his beloved. But thy eternal summer shall not fade. Dear students, the life of human is divided according to the seasons. Summer is our youth, while winter is our old age. Spring is the season when we are full of mellow healthfulness, right? So the summer season of beloved, that is the youth of beloved, will not fade. It is eternal. Nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, neither the beauty of fairness will be faded like that we have studied here in the sun, by chance or by nature. Whether by chance or by nature, both these two factors will have no effect on the permanent beauty of the beloved of the poet. Nor shall death drag thou unrest in his shade. As I said, that death, do you see death? I said personification, either the geographical icons or the abstract. Now abstracts are something which we feel and but we cannot see, like death, love, hate, jealousy. And if we treat these parameters, these abstract forms to be the humans, then we regard it as personification. But then this is one very wonderful line which the poet has quoted, that even death will not be able to take you in his shade. We all are being taken by death into the shade, the place where even we do not know where we will go, right? But here he says that even death is not going to steal you from us. You are apart even from the power of death. Now this may make us wonder as to how. Is he loving an angel or is he loving a goddess? No, he is loving a human form. A human form whom even death cannot steal. How? Let's read further. When in eternal lines to time thou growest. This sonnet which we are reading right now is being written 200 years back, and we are reading it today. And the moment we are reading it, please be honest and tell me, aren't you imagining? Aren't you imagining that how beautiful would have been the beloved of the poet? Yes. And the moment we imagine that the poet's beloved was very beautiful, she comes here right in front of us. And the moment she comes in front of us, she becomes alive. So the poet says that I will make you eternal in my beautiful sonnet. As a result, even death is not going to grab you away from me. These lines reflect the power of literature, that how beautifully you can write something on a person and the person becomes alive again. And here we see the alive persona of beloved whom Shakespeare adored so much. So, as man can breathe or eye can see. Now this is the couplet, that is the entire summing up of sonnet into 2 lines. So, as man can breathe or eye can see, as long as man will breathe, as long as we will be able to read the beautiful sonnet written by Shakespeare, so long lives thee and gives life to thee. So as long as the humans live, as long as they will read the sonnet, the moment we read the sonnet, we will give life to the beloved. And the moment we give life to the beloved, she never dies. She will never die. Dear students, this is one of the very beautiful sonnet which speaks about the power of literature. It has many lovely rhyming concepts which I have said. It has got a metaphor, it has got alliteration, it has got a lovely rhyme scheme. And the rhyme schemes of the poem goes with A, C, D, G, G. Thank you students for watching this video of mine.